What is up, everybody, and welcome back. Today we're going to be going over apprentice tattoos. I know it's been a while since we've done an apprentice-only episode, but I'm pretty excited about it because I do think that they get the most out of this. So let's not waste any more time and get right into it. Okay, the first tattoo sent in is from Natalie Hinzmann. And Natalie sent in this shark tattoo that you mentioned you'd like to work on your line work and stipple shading. And honestly, this looks like the perfect tattoo to try out that technique. The line work throughout this piece is okay, but I would have loved to seen some of that stipple shading that you mentioned in this tattoo. It looks like you may have tried out that technique in the top part of the shark, but it's not really reading that way. Those dots need to be confident and bold. And I think the first step to help you out with that is to use a machine that's designed to do that job. If you're using a softer hitting machine, it's not gonna give you those bold stipples that you need. If you would have used a machine with a lot longer or harder stroke, those stipples would have came out a lot more clean, with less effort, and they wouldn't look as much like a mag shade. Now, going back to those outlines, I do think it's obvious that some of them need to be cleaned up a bit, especially when it comes to that rectangle in the background. Since these border lines are out here by themselves, it makes it a lot easier to see any little flaw. But I do like the overall style of this tattoo, and I think you're on the right path. If it were me, I would probably grab a few fake skins to really try out that stipple technique prior to putting it on real skin. But thank you so much, Natalie, for sending that in and letting us talk about it. All right, the next tattoo sent in is from Sophia Jayne Smart out of Scotland. And Sophia, you sent in this Mew tattoo from Pokemon. See, I know my Pokemon. Right off the bat, I'm not a huge fan of, I'm assuming that's space in the background. It just seems to be a bit splotchy. Or maybe you tried to do a watercolor technique here. I honestly just can't tell. If it were watercolor, I feel like there should be a lot more skin breaks in there. And if it were space, I feel like there would be a lot more darkness or stars. Now, this is one of those tattoos that you can really play with depth when it comes to line work. As Mew has this tail that wraps all around in the background, it really gives you a lot of room to play with different sized needles. And it does look like you started to thicken the front and top of Mew with a thicker outline. You know, on the left side cheek and the top of the head, it's a lot thicker than anywhere else on the body. So I'm not sure if you were trying to play with depth in that way, but again, it's just not coming across that way. I would have put a similar outline all around the entire border of the front of Mew and then made the tail really thin and back and then maybe thicken it up as it comes around toward the top. You could have used some smaller lines on the inside of Mew, again, just to show some variation. It's nice to see you used a couple shades of pink in this tattoo, but the contrast could have been a bit better. Maybe if you were used a little bit deeper magenta to bounce off that lighter pink, you would have just had a lot more contrast happening. Or if you would have used a very small liner, you could have gray wash outlined or bloodlined around those lighter areas just to give it that much more pop. For those of you who don't know, bloodlining is basically just outlining with water. It makes your outlines look like they're made of blood, hence the name. Bloodlines are meant to disappear, they're just meant to keep a nice hard edge when building those shades. And the last thing that bothers me about this tattoo is the awkward little skin break behind its tail. I'm not sure why that's there. It almost looks like you forgot to color that part in. But Sophie, I do think this is a very cute tattoo. I do think you would benefit, however, from adding some of these tips into your tattoo arsenal. These are really simple techniques that will make your work seem that much more professional. Once again, thank you so much for sending that in. Next apprenticeship tattoo is from Halley Reading. Halley, you mentioned that you're not getting enough machine practice time in, which is unfortunate, but we'll get back to that in a second. Let's take a look at what you sent in. All right, so here we've got this death cat, as you call it, and to be quite honest, this is a bit rough. There's not really one outline that I see in this entire tattoo that I would call good. It's really difficult to place where I would say you need to work on because it's really all of it. When I bring my eyes to the bottom of this tattoo, where you've got these hash marks, I genuinely thought this was covering up scars, but I really don't think that's the case. When you zoom in, you can see all these little white lines coming down off of those lines. I'm just not sure of the reasoning. It's super confusing. And speaking of that white, I'm really not sure what's happening in that eye. It's a bit unnecessary, and when you put that in, you're actually washing out that black outline. Halley, you did send in a few other tattoos. This was the best one, and instead of critiquing the other ones that you did send in, I'd like to give you a word of advice. Practice drawing every day. You don't need skin to hone your artwork, because if you had some good technical art skills, your tattoos wouldn't be looking like this. And as a matter of fact, we're actually working on some how to draw tutorials right now. Not only for you, but for anybody who wants to further their art skills. So keep a lookout. Also, Halley, find time to work with your machines. Grab some fake skin, some oranges, a cat, whatever. Again, you don't need human skin to keep practicing. I'm just kidding, don't tattoo your cat. But thank you so much for sending that in and keep it up. All right, these next few tattoos are sent in by Lliam Chaplain. also from Scotland. And Lliam, the first tattoo we're going to be looking at is this outline of a skull wearing a hat. So right off the bat, pretty simple, basic tattoo. It's just a structure of a one-weight outline, which is exactly where a lot of apprentices should be starting. Looking at this tattoo, you can tell there are a few hiccups in the outline, but for the most part, I can tell you've got a pretty consistent hand movement. So there's really not a whole lot to talk about this tattoo, but I would like to reiterate, these are the types of tattoos that apprentices should be working on to help you with your hand movement, speed, and consistency. So here we have a little colored Reaper tattoo. This skull seems very similar, but it does seem like the outlines have improved. One thing that I like about these two skulls being so similar is it gives you the opportunity to self-critique. You can look back at the other one, see what you did right, see what you did wrong, and improve from there. I do like this tattoo. It's not perfect by any means, but there is one area that bothers me a whole heck of a lot. I see this often in a lot of tattooers' work, even tattooers that have been at it for 10, 20 years, and it stabs me in the heart like a dagger. You see these two lines right about here. They just come too close together. When you're building your design, you have to make sure that two lines don't come so close together where they appear as one. Obviously, these lines aren't touching, but our eyes do perceive it that way, and it just makes it look a little messy. If you were to have moved that eyebrow line down a hair or make it a different angle, it would have avoided that altogether. The colors in this tattoo are saturated pretty well, especially that red. And as an apprentice, that means a lot more to me than you think. I do think those circles can have been made with either a smaller liner or just left out altogether, as I do think those in the future will probably blur together. But seriously, I think these are the exact type of tattoos that you should be doing. I think you are right in your lane. Of course, these aren't tattoos that are going to blow anybody away, but you are doing the right thing and what you need to do to improve. One more thing I noticed, it looks like you're taking the proper time to get a good photo. You're setting up a nice background, you're getting photos without any glare. You're really giving yourself a great head start on a solid looking portfolio. I'm excited to see what you do in the future, Lliam. Thank you so much for sending that in. All right, and this last tattoo is sent in from Ben Elliott. Ben, you sent in this little tooth with a nice circle red background. And at first glance, this tattoo is solid. I don't know if it's just that bright red that's catching my eye or those clean lines, but this thing really does have some good techniques to it. It's nice to see some of that texture in the tooth, as teeth aren't super smooth, especially when it comes to the root. Obviously, I think the red circle in the background is just warped because the person is lifting up their leg. I don't think that it is actually oblong. I think that it probably is a pretty close to perfect circle. And I like the huge skin break that's in that tooth, that you didn't overdo it with that shading to make it look like a dark tooth. The red in the background looks pretty solid. There might be a holiday here or there, but for the most part, it looks nice and clean, it doesn't look overworked, and it looks like it'll heal great. So good job there. And by adding that background, it really set this piece off. Had it not been in there, sure, it'd still be a clean tattoo, but it probably wouldn't be as dynamic. And I know this is a pretty simple tattoo, but as far as apprentice work goes, this one looks professional. And you know what? While we're here, let's skip all the hoo-ha. Ben, this is my favorite tattoo of the week. So congratulations! The red background, the clean lines, the nice texture, it really does seem like you're ready to transition from apprentice to artist. So once again, congratulations on being my favorite tattoo this week. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap it up for the critiques this week. But before we go, you know I got a featured artist that I'd love to share with you. And that is Mattia Calvi out of Italy, or as everybody in the industry knows him as Mambo. Mambo has one of the most unique styles in the game. Bring up his name to any professional tattooer and I almost guarantee you they'll know who Mambo is. His line work is ridiculous. His saturation is nearly perfect. But most importantly, what sets his work apart from everybody else on the planet is the way he designs his tattoos. Just look at the way his color is often off kilter from the outline. This isn't something you see all the time, but it's so cool. Apprentices watching, please take note. This is somebody you should be looking up to. This is what it looks like when you put just as much care into your design as you do your tattoo. Everyone else, please head on over to his Instagram page, give him a follow if you're not already, and let him know I sent you. Once again, everybody, thank you so much for sticking around. Don't forget to subscribe while you're here. And as always, I'll see y'all next week.